It's not Maitreya Buddha. This is who will save us from the decline of Dharma. If it's not Maitreya Buddha, then who will help humanity overcome the decline of Dharma? It is said that when Shakyamuni Buddha was preparing to enter nirvana, the radiance around his head suddenly disappeared. A curious disciple asked, "World-honored one, why has the light around your head vanished?" The Buddha replied, "I used my divine vision and saw that after I enter nirvana, the Dharma will gradually decline. People will no longer believe in the teachings. Temples will fall into disrepair, and people's hearts will become filled with greed, anger, and suffering. These conditions will worsen. That era will be one of chaos, not only in society but also in nature. Disasters such as floods, droughts, and even severe pandemics will occur." Looking objectively at the 21st century, many believe that the decline of Dharma has already begun. According to the Buddha's prophecy, this state of chaos will persist until Maitreya Buddha appears to restore the Dharma and bring peace and prosperity to the world. However, few notice that Shakyamuni Buddha also pointed out that during this chaotic era, besides Maitreya Buddha, another divine being will appear to save sentient beings. That being is Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. This raises the question, who is Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva? Why did Shakyamuni Buddha hold him in such high regard? What benefits can one gain from chanting his name? Why do some say he is the Lord of Hell, even calling him the ruler of the underworld? And what secrets does he truly know about hell? The answers to these questions will be revealed in today's story. Stay tuned and let's begin now. In Buddhist scriptures, it is taught that by simply chanting the name Namo Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva once, you can avoid falling into the three evil realms of the six paths of reincarnation: hell, hungry ghosts, and animals. If you persist in chanting the name many times, you will not only eliminate the karmic obstacles caused by bad actions in the past, but also resolve the hardships you are currently enduring. Furthermore, this practice brings blessings not just for yourself, but also for your family and those around you, regardless of where they may be. They will avoid calamities, live healthy and prosperous lives, and not fall into the three evil realms in their next life. This miraculous effect is clearly recorded in the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva Sutra. Many people have tried it and found that after just 7 days of diligent chanting, their fortune changed significantly. And that is merely one of the smallest benefits of chanting the name of Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. To truly understand Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva, we need to delve into the larger narrative of the structure of the Buddhist cosmos. According to Buddhist teachings, time and space are infinite. There exist countless worlds, each with its own mountains, rivers, life, and unique history, known as small worlds. But these are only a tiny fragment of the universe. 1,000 small worlds form a small thousand-world system. 1,000 small thousand-world systems make up a middle thousand-world system, and 1,000 middle thousand-world systems combine to form a great thousand-world system, also called the 3,000 great thousand-world system. Thus, one great thousand-world system contains up to 10 billion small worlds similar to our own. This can be referred to as the layered structure of the universe in Buddhism. The universe is not only described in terms of space, but also categorized into states of existence of sentient beings across three realms. The desire realm, Kamaratu. Beings in this realm are dominated by desires, particularly for food and sensual pleasures. Humans belong to this realm. The form realm, Rupadhatu. Beings here possess physical forms but have transcended desires. They can be understood as spiritual entities at a higher level of existence who live through meditative energy rather than food or drink. The formless realm, Arupyadat. Beings in this realm have no physical forms, existing purely as states of mind and consciousness. These are often referred to as deities or spiritual beings. However, in Buddhism, deities are not the highest level of existence. The Buddha is supreme, as even deities, bodhisattvas, and arhats remain within the cycle of samsara. According to the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva Sutra, more than 2,000 years ago, a grand Dharma assembly was held in Tria heaven, heaven of the 33. After the Buddha's mother, Queen Maya, passed away, she was reborn in Tria heaven. Using his divine powers, Shakyamuni Buddha ascended to this heaven to teach the Dharma to his mother. This event shook the 3,000 great thousand-world system, attracting not only celestial beings but also countless natural deities, such as mountain gods, ocean gods, and fire gods. The space was filled with radiant light and wondrous sounds. The Buddha emitted billions of rays of light, forming great, compassionate clouds that dispelled suffering, afflictions, and obstacles. These clouds of light also enhanced the wisdom of those present, enabling them to comprehend and internalize the Dharma teachings deeply. Along with the light, miraculous sounds resonated throughout, helping sentient beings overcome their afflictions and attain enlightenment. The extraordinary sight drew countless additional beings to the Dharma assembly. This event became an unprecedented gathering in history. Even tree spirits and demon kings from across the world came to Triastrimsha heaven, eager to hear Shakyamuni Buddha's teachings. Observing the vast assembly of deities gathered from all corners of existence, the Buddha turned to Manjushri Bodhisattva and asked, "Can you calculate how many deities are here?" Manjushri Bodhisattva, using his divine powers, attempted to count, but after careful observation, he replied, "World-honored one, the number of deities here is so immense that even with my divine abilities, I cannot calculate it." The Buddha smiled and said, "Not only you, but even I, though fully enlightened, cannot estimate the number. Why is this? Because countless deities from parallel universes have also come to attend. The remarkable thing is that all these deities, who have attained enlightenment or may become Buddhas in the future, owe their progress to the guidance and assistance of Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. This reveals the immense power and boundless compassion of Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva, who has saved countless sentient beings. Shakyamuni Buddha disclosed that Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva has existed for an unimaginably long time, so long that it surpasses human comprehension. The Buddha explained, "Imagine that every flower, every tree, every stone, and every speck of dust in this world represents a Ganges river. Within each Ganges river, every grain of sand symbolizes a world, and within each world, every speck of dust represents an epoch of time. Multiply this vast quantity by billions upon billions, and that is the time Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva has existed. Not only is the number of deities saved by him uncountable, but the duration of his existence also transcends human understanding. Through countless kalpas, he has undergone innumerable cycles of samsara. In one life, Ksitigarbha was born as the son of a wealthy merchant. During this lifetime, he encountered a Buddha of the past whose majestic appearance and radiant compassion captivated him. He asked the Buddha, "How can I cultivate myself to achieve the same appearance and virtues as you?" The Buddha replied, "To attain such beauty and majesty, you must spend an unimaginably long time using the Dharma to save all sentient beings from suffering." Hearing this, the young merchant understood that majestic beauty is not inherent, but is the result of countless virtuous deeds, the accumulation of merit, compassion, and wisdom. In that life, he made a great vow. "I vow to be like the Buddha, dedicating all my efforts to saving sentient beings, even if it means descending into hell without hesitation." The story in Triastrimsha heaven continued as more and more deities appeared before Shakyamuni Buddha. The Buddha narrated another past life of Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva. In that lifetime, he was born as a Brahmin woman, belonging to the highest caste in ancient Indian society. Blessed with merits accumulated in her previous lives, she was protected by deities in everything she did. This karmic protection allowed her to dedicate her life to compassion and helping others, laying the foundation for her eventual vow to save all beings, even those in the most tormented states of existence. However, Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva's mother was a person who did not believe in the law of cause and effect. She often committed harmful deeds to exploit others for personal gain. As a result, her health gradually deteriorated. Despite the family's wealth, they ultimately could not save her from death. After her mother passed away, the Brahmin woman was filled with worry. She feared that her mother, because of the evil deeds she had committed, would fall into hell and endure great suffering. Determined to save her, the Brahmin woman decided to sell all her possessions to build a Buddhist stupa and sincerely prayed for her mother. One day, as she stood before the statue of Buddha flower-crowned King of Freedom in the temple she had built, she gazed at the statue and wept. In her heart, she wished that if this Buddha were still alive, she could ask him about her mother's whereabouts. As she cried in despair, suddenly a gentle voice echoed from the void. "Virtuous woman, please do not be too sorrowful. I will help you find out where your mother is." Hearing this, the Brahmin woman was both astonished and overjoyed. She clasped her hands in respect and asked, "Who is the compassionate being comforting me in my sorrow?" The voice replied, "I am the Buddha flower-crowned King of Freedom, whom you are worshipping. I have sensed your deep love and longing for your mother and have come to assist you." The Buddha continued, "Go home and find a quiet place to meditate and chant my name. You will see where your mother is." Following the Buddha's instructions, the Brahmin woman returned home, chose a serene spot, and sat down to pray. Before long, she suddenly heard the sound of fierce ocean waves. Opening her eyes, she found herself standing before a vast stormy sea filled with crashing waves. Amidst the sound of the waves, she listened closely and discerned the anguished cries of people. Looking carefully, she saw terrifying creatures with bodies clad in iron chasing thousands of men and women. These people were relentlessly attacked, while many multi-armed, multi-headed yakshas stood nearby, forcing them into the clutches of the monstrous beings. The scene was horrifying, but thanks to the protection of the Buddha's teachings, the Brahmin woman felt no fear. At that moment, a fierce king of hungry ghosts appeared. Though his appearance was fearsome, the king of hungry ghosts spoke to the Brahmin woman with calmness and kindness. He said, "This is the great iron encircling mountain." The Brahmin woman asked, "I have heard that there are hells within this mountain. Is that true?" The king of hungry ghosts nodded. "Yes, there are indeed hells here." She continued, "Why have I appeared here?" The king of hungry ghosts replied, "There are two reasons why someone might come to this place. One is through the power of divine abilities, and the other is because they committed severe sins. If a person does not perform good deeds or is not prayed for by their loved ones within 49 days after their death, they will fall into this place." He further explained, within 49 days after death, the judges of the underworld assess the karma of the deceased based on their actions while alive. Those who did good deeds will receive blessings, while those who committed evil acts will suffer the consequences. After the 49 days, the calculation of their karma is completed, and their soul will be assigned to one of the 6 realms of reincarnation. He continued, "This is why, during the crucial 49-day period, if someone prays, chants sutras, and performs virtuous deeds on behalf of the deceased, they can alter the fate of the departed, helping them reduce or avoid negative karmic consequences." Hearing this, the Brahmin woman asked, "If this is not yet the hell realm, then what is this place?" The king of hungry ghosts answered, "This is merely the first ocean leading to the hell realms. Traveling 100,000 yojanas further east, you will reach the second ocean, where the suffering is doubled. Beyond that, even farther east lies the third ocean, where the suffering multiplies even more." Upon hearing this, the Brahmin woman became increasingly worried. If just standing at the gateway to the hells is already this terrifying, then what must the actual hells be like? She thought. Overwhelmed, she urgently asked the king of hungry ghosts about her mother's whereabouts, fearing that her mother might be suffering in hell. The king of hungry ghosts used his divine abilities to cross the 3 great oceans and enter the hell realms to investigate. Not long after, he returned and said to the Brahmin woman, "Although your mother committed many serious sins, your filial piety and the virtuous deeds you performed on her behalf have transformed her karma. She has been freed from the hell realms and has now been reborn in the heavens." Not only that, but the other sinners who were suffering alongside her mother in the hell realms were also liberated thanks to the Brahmin woman's merit. The king of hungry ghosts said, "Your deeds have not only saved your loved one, but have also brought freedom to countless other beings." Hearing this, the Brahmin woman felt as if she had awakened from a deep dream. She realized that her actions had the power not only to save her family, but also to liberate countless sentient beings from suffering. From that moment, she made a great vow. "I vow that in countless future lifetimes, I will create infinite ways to help sentient beings in suffering. Depending on their circumstances, I will use the most suitable means to guide them, helping them to understand the principles of the Buddha's teachings. Through this, no one will have to fall into hell and endure suffering. This vow became the foundation for the famous pledge of Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva: if hell is not empty, I will not attain Buddhahood. According to the Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva Sutra, as soon as the story of the Brahmin woman was told, Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva suddenly appeared at the Dharma assembly of Shakyamuni Buddha. He was not alone. Countless manifestations of Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva from parallel universes also simultaneously appeared. At this moment, Shakyamuni Buddha raised his golden arm, and from his hand radiated infinite light. The light extended to the manifestations of Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva, touching their crowns and bestowing blessings. As this blessing was given, Shakyamuni Buddha said, "In this era of chaos, I have transformed and taught sentient beings to change their fates. But there are some whose roots of wisdom are shallow, whose karmic obstacles are heavy, and who are mired in ignorance. For them, I have had to manifest in various forms to guide them. I do not distinguish whether I appear as a man or a woman, a dragon or a turtle, or even transform into mountains, rivers, or ponds to help beings achieve enlightenment. As long as I can save sentient beings, I am willing to become anything. Yet, despite my efforts, there remain one or two among them who cannot be transformed. These individuals must bear the karmic consequences of their actions, being reborn into hells, hungry ghost realms, or animal realms to endure suffering." The Buddha continued, "For those who cannot be transformed, they must face the results of their karma. They will reincarnate into realms of torment, but their suffering is their own making. Therefore, I entrust you. After I enter nirvana, and before Maitreya Bodhisattva descends to the world, remember my words today. Use your divine powers and wisdom to help sentient beings escape suffering, attain eternal liberation, and await Maitreya's arrival to receive confirmation of Buddhahood." As soon as the Buddha finished speaking, a miraculous phenomenon occurred. Countless manifestations of Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva seemed to be summoned by a supernatural force and quickly merged into a single form. Under the watchful eyes of all sentient beings, Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva made a profound vow. "Until the last sinner in hell is liberated, I vow not to attain Buddhahood. I will forever save sentient beings." Why did Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva make such an immense commitment? It was because he had personally witnessed the horrors of hell, especially the unimaginable suffering in the Avicii hell, uninterrupted hell. In Buddhism, hell is not considered a distant place reached only after death. Rather, it is a form of rebirth within the 6 realms of samsara. To reach hell, a soul must traverse 3 vast oceans of suffering located west of the great iron-encircling mountain, Mahakankramana Parvata, which marks the farthest boundary of the universe. Where exactly is this place? According to Buddhist scriptures, hell is described as lying east of Jambudvipa, the world inhabited by humans. This means that hell is not a far-off domain, but a part of the world surrounding us. Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva explained, "Hell exists within the great iron-encircling mountain, where there is no sunlight or moonlight. Here, there are 18 great hells, 500 medium hells, and thousands of minor hells. Each of these hells has unique names and corresponding punishments. Imagine the Avicii hell as a vast country, with medium hells as provinces and minor hells as cities. In the scriptures, the great hells are described as being surrounded by massive iron walls, towering as high as 10,000 miles, and perpetually ablaze with fire to prevent sinners from escaping. The souls imprisoned here endure not only physical torment, but also extreme fear and psychological anguish. What makes Avicii hell especially unique is that time there is unbroken. There is no moment of rest or reprieve. Even if one hell is destroyed, the sinners are automatically transferred to a newly created one to continue their punishment. This ceaseless suffering reflects the severity of the karmic consequences borne by those who fall into this realm. It was witnessing this endless torment that inspired Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva to make his unparalleled vow to save all beings, no matter how long it takes. However, according to the scriptures, when a person fully repays their karmic debts, not only are they liberated, but all others sharing the same type of karma are also set free. For example, when the Brahmin woman's mother was liberated thanks to her daughter's merits, the entire Avicii hell became empty. This raises the question, do these terrifying hells truly exist? In reality, Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva once revealed that hell does not exist in a faraway place. It exists within the mind of each individual. He explained that in a Vici hell, there are countless iron beds where sinners lie in torment. But the remarkable thing is that these sinners cannot see anyone else, even though they are surrounded by thousands. They only perceive their own suffering. This is a manifestation of karmic power. The pain they endure is created by their own sins, mistakes, and guilt. The torment of hell is not merely external, but arises from fear, obsession, and self-reproach within the soul. This explains why, although the suffering is real, it is also deeply connected to one's consciousness. There is a story of a general who once asked a monk, "What is hell?" Instead of answering, the monk harshly insulted him. Furious, the general drew his sword to strike. At that moment, the monk calmly said, "This is hell." The general, startled, understood immediately and apologized. The monk then said, "And this is the Pure Land." From this story, we understand that hell and the Pure Land are not distant places. They exist within us. When our minds are consumed by anger, greed, envy, or fear, we are living in hell. But when our minds are clear, calm, and filled with compassion, we are in the Pure Land. The purpose of chanting the name of Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva is not to beseech him to appear and save us, but to awaken ourselves. When we realize that hell is created by our own minds, we understand that we have the power to liberate ourselves. If each of us acts with compassion and wisdom, wouldn't hell cease to exist? Let the light of Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva's compassion illuminate our souls. When you chant his name, remember that you are not only seeking blessings for yourself, but also helping all sentient beings escape suffering. Be your own Ksitigarbha. That concludes today's video. What are your thoughts? Please share them in the comments below. Thank you for watching until the end.